See, there we go. All right, what's up, people? That's what I'm dealing with. Did I do everything right? Yeah, I'll give some time for some people to catch up with this, but I think it's live. Let's see. There we go. Dude, check it. I was going to leave it here. Let's see what we got going on here. But go back to YouTube. I don't even know. I'll have to check and see if this thing's live. Yeah, it says it's working. So I'm on it. Let's go back where I had it, where I wanted it to be. Right here, because that's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about economy has lost its mind. I'll just get into this. So I've already talked about before how it was going to affect the ports, and I knew that getting in on a run I was getting in on, that if anything was any kind of a problem on that run, that I wouldn't be able to work for that company because they would have anything else. A lot of companies are, a lot of trucking companies are firing people for no reason. That's pretty much where I'm at. Um, and I wasn't even alone in the line. There was a good long line of something like 10 other drivers to go in and talk to them, and they were firing them two at a time. I was like, what is going on here? So I wasn't so surprised by it. I wasn't so worried about it. Um, I kind of knew that it would give me a little more time to grow some crops, if you know what I mean. Like you when they used to have Congress used to would go and serve in a session, and then Congress would go out. They have to do anymore. So what I did was I started growing some tomatoes. I started I don't know, it's a couple weeks ago. I built a throw together shed of a greenhouse, and I've started building a large garden. And it's one of those things where what has happened to a lot of people. I mean, the right now there were people trying to call in New York and actually file for unemployment. And they try for hours and hours, and all they do is they get the busy signal, and they can't they can't and I'm sure Washington State is probably the same way, and everywhere else that's getting hit. And they've got a whole nother cruise ship coming. These can't get you what you need, and even if all the truck drivers are working, which their contracts, they don't have contracts, and a lot of the companies they had contracts with them are currently closed. Like it's no big, it's nothing new. It's like, well, add this one to the list, right? So what's for them to be getting rid of drivers, and also since because they don't, I mean, you don't know truck drivers like I do. I'm telling you, it's not a reserve bank that you can put money into and then just wait and take it out later. Okay, truckers are not a commodity. We're people, and that they can't handle their business and then expect us to come back, put all of our eggs in one basket. And some guys have done that. A lot of people have done that. That, I guess, that place is bipolar. But It's really not worth. It's not worth the time and the effort. And you know, like I said, I'm not alone. There's a lot of people in the United States right now that are unemployed. Um, if you if you look at the numbers coming out of New York, just for an example, but it's going to be down everywhere, and it's going to months minimum. It's going to be 3 years for this virus. This shutdown is going to be 3 months minimum. We don't have masks. They think we could just come home and sew something into a mask. I told them that we were all like Betsy Ross and can just whip up a flag with some needle and thread. I ain't seen nobody run a spinning wheel in a long time. They don't know how to, make make cotton into and start. Or seriously, that's a thought. I do have a couple sewing machines. The point is, most people don't. Um, you know, and for them to expect, they need to make some. But since we're not wearing them and we don't have them, and now they're saying, "Oh, don't buy the 95 mask, but make your own out of some material or just whip." Well, they're expecting a much. So since I'm unemployed, and since I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I know that it's just not going to be moving. Big bulk companies that order so much chicken and so much meat, you only buy those things. That's it. Um, oh, it says, yeah, there's no telling. It's probably messing with me. They're probably messing with my stream. So let me see if I can put this up in position too. Maybe I'll get better service. Who knows? But I know one thing's for sure. They're messing with the money. So the way it's going to be, honestly, I know I can get a job within a few weeks. It would be a big deal. Going through another orientation is totally going to suck. That's how they get you. That's how they keep you places because they know it's a pain to do that. But once they cut you loose, it's like, okay, look, I know for sure that I'll be off till into next week and I can finish up putting the plants that I grew a couple weeks ago in the ground, working on cars and motorcycles and crap like that, stuff that needs to be fixed. I put it's kind of crazy. It's a Chinese virus that destroyed thing, but I've got a Chinese motor on a tiller now. I had a 1970 something Wizard tiller, and they can't even find microfiche on this thing anymore. But I bought a Predator because it had blown up before and I hadn't had time to mess with it. So that's what I'm tilling my garden with, and it seems to be working pretty good. So that's the 212cc. So then I put one on a push mower, just dealing with some stuff, trying to get stuff fixed up, and I'm hoping if I set up everything so it'll grow, and put like a timer sprinkler system. I mean, you could put some bottles to like the greenhouse part. You can take water bottles and put a screw in the cap in the top, and it'll let water through. I don't even honestly. Let's see here. I don't know how to make them show up again. To be honest, oh man, that was what I was trying to do, was just leave it on this picture here. Um, only other thing I know how to do is to go to the YouTube site. What I was saying is I'm trying to get some stuff taken care of. And in the meantime, for all intents and purposes, um, and I don't even know if the unemployment office is open. A lot of government places are shut down. All courthouses are shut down. They're closing up, or at least they're not doing anything that's not essential. They're closing up, tag offices and that kind of stuff. And oh man, I'm trying to think of what all's closed up. People are going to go nuts when you can't get cigarettes. So the manufacturers that are making those are closed, and the warehouses are given only so many to the places buying cigarettes. So that's going on. But there's going to be looting. There's going to be rioting. There's countries already gotten to looting and rioting, at this point. But there's plenty that are boarding up with wood to try to stop rioters from looting them and kind of stuff. I think that's mostly in New York, but there will be, you know, for food. Are you kidding? I mean, 3 months. They must really think that we have money saved up. Somebody must really think that's possible. They need to start putting out food now. We're not an ATM, that's for sure. But there have been people that have tried and unsuccessfully, tried and failed to mess with truck drivers for money. But I'll tell you, it's a whole new economy. It's crazy and lost its mind. I would go into another part of this live, show some other stuff on Twitter. I'm trying to think what I was going to put up. To be honest with you, like I said, I'm a little scatterbrained just because I've worked all day in the sun. So, but if you're unemployed at this time, you're in good company. There's a lot of us, and it's all because they had to shut down companies, and truckers for years have talked about doing a shutdown. They're fixing to have a shutdown because there's not going to be anything for them to haul. And I don't know if they're going to leave them on the road. Like a lot of these companies, maybe I should be thankful I'm unemployed right now. If I would have been with a company that, like a lot of them that have gone bankrupt, have just left drivers on the road with no fuel to get back home, and other drivers have had to try to get them home. Well, or Freightliner would try to in their truck. It's unimaginable how much stuff drivers put in our trucks. We got coffee makers and clothes and all kinds of stuff, and it could be like a full pickup truckload, easy. Especially the guys that's got like microwaves and all that. So there's going to be a lot of drivers with a lot or whatever, and then the CEOs make money. CEOs will be, talking about how they took a trip to Aspen, just like that one guy did, and I think they put him in prison. I don't know, but yeah, they will do a company wrong and do the drivers wrong and leave them places, and I see that coming real. Be close to your house or have your tank full enough to get to your house, because when they shut stuff down, and they will, wait for you to haul. Maybe they'll do it incrementally in blocks in like regions. Like they have like a Northeast regional or East Coast, or Southeast regional or Midwest or whatever, or coast to coast or 48 states. Whatever you're running, maybe that part of it, maybe they'll rein in to where they have more freight. But these states that are going to be closing up, they're saying right now, Texas says other than truck drivers, you can't go from Louisiana to Texas. Well, what happens if you usually are real close and you drop your truck in Louisiana, but you live in Texas and you need to drive home? You can't even that have to do with what keeps us going as truck drivers. And one of them's freight, and the other one is getting to your truck or having a place to park it. I've noticed they covered up the signs that say at Walmart, no truck parking, right? Like they don't want you parking there. They even put the cinder blocks in places with rails, and they put the bars up that go over that you can't drive under. And even if there's a truck route to get stuff in there, they don't want you drivers are going to have to shut down all it and park their trucks at Walmarts. What's a safe haven whenever you need to go to the hospital? Where would you leave your truck? Are you going to leave it in the middle of the street? Are you going to leave it on the side of the interstate? Are the companies going to leave you on the side of the interstate? Nobody's going to happen when there's no freight for them to haul, because the companies that they were usually hauling for shut down for a little bit, but they didn't have the money to sustain them through that shutdown, and they'd go bankrupt. So there's going to be a lot of odd things that are going to happen real fast with this. And we already can't get stuff from China. So if you have shoes and you can look in the insoles of your shoes, they probably say made in China. But even if they're made in a different country, like something like Vietnam or Bangladesh or something, whatever, a lot of those companies trade with China for the materials that they use in their manufacturing plants to make those shoes. So without that supply chain, and also without container ships bringing them here, the ports being empty and that kind of stuff, you're not going to get what you think you can get. And like I said, an old rusty shovel with no handle is going to be worth $100 bill, because they're printing money. They're going to have to, do that quantitative easing now. Plus, they're going to have to send people checks. That makes that dollar right there. So it will be that you'll be like paying, $20 for a cheeseburger. You'll be like, what? And then it'd be 100, and then it'd be like hyperinflation could set in quick step. And the companies in China have gone back. China's actually sent kits that were for testing that coronavirus in them, and supplies that had it in it. They tested it and it found that it had the coronavirus in it. And they sent, this is really crazy. I'm not sure if it was Spain or another country, but they sent test kits that did not work. And Spain and them, one country said, we don't want anything else from you. Another country said, we'll send them back. But I don't know if you could trust those kits. And then if you try it against your own testing, limited testing that's accurate, and you find that it doesn't work, then you've spent $3 million or whatever, how many million dollars that one country spent on the tests that are faulty. And they sent, man, was it Ukraine? I'm not sure what country got it, but I do know that Russia is sending us some masks and some medical supplies and ventilators, because we needed ventilators in a bad way. We got one state robbing from another, borrowing from another, to try to patchwork quilt it together and push it where it needs to be. So ventilators it's crazy. They stay on them a long, healthy people in China being on this for 50 something days. If you get sick, you could be so down and funny. So when all the truck drivers get it, and they take showers and that kind of stuff, oh man, I'll tell you what, it's going rolls the country. And they're with us. The companies that do have the ability, I'll tell you what should happen. The federal government should try to contact every truck driver and say, look, we'll buy you a truck, and here's the keys. You know what I'm saying? And then pay Freightliner and whatever, or we'll get you however it takes to finance you one, and we'll get your own authority and you can roll. Because seriously, the companies that are currently in control of freight, and when I say control of freight, I'm talking about the mega carriers that have gobbled up the freight and got it on lockdown. They don't even have freight. And when it comes back, they're not going to have drivers, because they're going to piss them all off. We're all going to be gone. Okay. So, and there was this one guy too. There was this one guy, I think he was in Australia. I said, good for you, that you went out there and spent the money instead of keeping it. They gave him some kind of a stimulus check in one country, and he bought, I don't know how many cases of beer, like all beer. A lot of truck drivers are at the point they put on Twitter on this thing that Onion Network said that the corona and unemployment and all that stuff looks a lot better after a few beers. It's going to be. They're going to be like, look, I'm on the road. I'm not having to drive. Done, and they're going to take a staycation. And that staycation, it could last months. Even if they're well, they might be like, why would I want to go to a city and deliver that stuff there, possibly get sick, come back and deal with it? So like I said, maybe I should, from the mega carrier BS that's going on, where they've got a lockdown of freight, and it's a monopoly on freight right now, and they're all cutting each other's throats. But they're going to treat their drivers bad, and the driver's going to leave and not come back to them. So I don't care if you've got classes teaching truckers how to drive, new drivers every day, pumping them out like a puppy mill. And a lot of these companies, they've got orientation, and you can see it, that we do orientation Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Thursdays, whatever, and it's every week, and there's a bunch of them come in and a bunch of them quit, right? Well, part of it was because they had freight and they had garbage loads you have to unload all the time, like that Dollar General stuff. Not talking about any account, but they're all running that stuff. You got to work your butt off on that. Well, a lot of us can't do all that kind of stuff and sustainably, because in the summer it'll sweat. You'll leave. So that's why it's like a puppy mill. It's like a revolving door policy of in and out and go to the next one. So I'll be honest with you. Um, my thing is I've got tanker. I'm specialized. I can do whatever, and I'm so done with the garbage of it all. But maybe this is the reset that a lot of truckers need to maybe shut down monopoly on freight that these garbage carrier companies, the way they treat drivers, they're garbage. They're all garbage. They know they could treat drivers better, but they're trying to treat their upper management good. And they're, they got the safety department, and they got the terminal managers and the managers. They've got the freight they don't even want to call them dispatchers, but they've got planners. You can't even get to a planner. You can't even talk to a planner. I'll let the planner know, and we'll see what he gives you. And you might get where you want to go, but you probably won't, and you'll just take it. So that kind of mess, yeah, and at this point in the same fishbowl, you'll get people from Swift that are working over at like US Express over to Werner to Dart to they're all of those companies, JB Hunt, Schneider, um, they're all people that have left another company and went to there. So it's all turning into the control and mind control that the other company was, because they're taking their ways with them when they go to the new company. They're like, I was trained in this way. I know how to deal with drivers. They think they know how to deal with drivers. They have a college education. They couldn't drive a truck if you paid them to. Couldn't hook it up to the trailer and get out of the parking lot without tearing everything up and ripping over the mailbox and tearing down the guard check with the guard in it, right? What to do, and they are so confident in themselves because it's a revolving door policy and they can replace you in a whip stitch. Well, they're going to find that this is going to affect drivers. That they're going to be like, they're all going to let each other know what the garbage companies are and what they're doing and who's on top and who's on bottom and which ones treat you right. And the truckers are going to treat those companies the way those companies treated those drivers. Yeah, it's getting in trucking. And good luck to the companies that are going to continue to treat drivers like garbage. So, yeah, appreciate it. And look, everything's good. I just wanted to get this out, and I may do a Corona live tomorrow. I don't know. I've got a lot more work to do, but understand, people, that if trucking shuts down, not a zip. You will be so under. Oh man, let me put it to you like this: if you have it in your home, it came off of a truck. If it's something that needs to be replenished, like food, water, um, the plates that you eat off of, everything. So, yeah, I got you there, JD. So, everything that you see around you in your home, comes off a truck. And the way they're treating these drivers and what's going to have to happen, but in the meantime, it's going to be hard, is a lot of drivers are going to get jaded from the way they're treated. And they may just stay home. They may be like, you know what? Why even look for a job in this mess? No, I got you, JD. Yeah, I'm okay. Like I said, I'm going to stay off for, well, a few days at least, and get some things in order. But honestly, can you trust the company when right now the freight is the way it is? So there has to be incentive, and drivers don't have it right now. And so these mega carriers are fixing to ruin the economy with what they're doing, and they've lost drivers. Like I said, man, there was a line of them, and it's a massive layoff happening. And like I said, what's going to happen if they leave them on the road? The ones that honestly go belly up. I don't know what's going to happen there, because even in a good time, good economy time, we had to, as drivers, go and help drivers at truck stops that needed rides home. It's not going to work like that this time. It's turn out the same. So, people, I'm going to get off this thing. I just wanted to, it's not a rant. This is just truth and info that there is a linchpin in our economy called trucking, and the trucking companies are jacking the drivers around, and the drivers are seeing it, you know. Yeah, JD, um I'm not in the truck right now. They have their truck back. I'm in a position where I'm able to do anything I need to do or want to do. Yeah, appreciate that, Matt. And it's a point where there's, like I said, a lot of the drivers are just gonna get a cooler, fill it with ice and beer, and stay the hell home. Like they're saying on the internet, stay the F home, like they're saying on Twitter, that hashtag. Um, it's going to be that way, because why would you dying anyhow and go out and with a company that will probably treat you bad again and could leave you stuck on the road? You're taking a chance of being shut down with no freight. If you need, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm going to look at some of them, and I've got a friend that works for one place, and I didn't really want to haul a reefer, but you never say never, so reefer units, they're loud and annoying, but um, yeah, I don't need that though, JD. So I'm taken. But uh so yeah, so it's one of those things where some things mathematically. You can look at what has happened with one city where they've shut stuff down. You can look, and with trucking can run around different cities and stuff, but right now what's fixing to happen, I believe as many drivers as I saw yesterday, in line waiting, where he brought up some old BS from 3 months back or 6 months back or whatever, and tried to find some reason and fired them. Just threw that out there, right? Um, I believe that this other support, network for our country called trucking, I believe it's fixing to fall. Be because of the way the companies treat the drivers, and because of this virus. Because nobody wants to, like, you're asking them already too much. You're low on freighter because you're doing whatever, and then they're just not going to come back. They're not going to go to another company for a while, or they're going to sit on their savings. A lot of these guys are running, saving, and then they're going to be like, piss on it, I'll just sit home, or sit this one out, or they'll go something different, that doesn't, like, it's already hard. Okay, like I said, I was going to get off this thing, but I will say this. It's already hard to find a driver that even wants to take a grocery load, because they're heavy. So you're always worried about weight and scaling and having to run into the scales and getting tickets for overweight. So canned goods, man, forget about it. Even if you don't have to pay for them as owner operator or whatever you're doing, like I went to a company for a bit, the point is this: if you even have to deal with the EFS check and all that mess, it's a hassle. It's something that holds you up for another 30 minutes. Paying a lumper and getting a lumper could cost you an hour to an hour and a half. Plus, they're going to say, oh, it's going to take 3 hours to unload that. And you just wasted your day. So there's a lot of wait time hauling food. Grocery warehouses are a nightmare. They always have been. And a lot of times they can refuse your load for no reason. So it's hard to get drivers to haul that stuff anyhow. And there was some regular drivers doing it, but any of those either tap out, get sick, quit, get pissed off, get laid off because there's not enough freight, whatever. Even when the economy comes back, it's going to be a hard time getting food to your door. I'm just telling you the truth as a truck driver. And the things I'm to someone who worked in the store, there's no social distancing going on. And they're saying now it's 28 feet, 27 to 28 feet. I can show you links where that it even lingers in the air for hours. And Walmart is a big box store with no ventilation. You have to wear a mask and wear ocular, wear goggles that seal to your skin, and wash your whole body and wash your clothes when you get out of there, simply because it's just like suiting up for something nuclear. And it just is going to stay in the air. And the more people that have been in there, and they don't clean that store every night, they stock it every night. So they're not in there mopping it up. Man, are you kidding me? Really? I've seen them when they wax the floors. They use like a machine. Look, that virus is going to be on everything, in everything, and there's no stopping it. And the drivers are going to get it because they're in there and they're talking to people, and they're none of them wearing masks. Of course, there's no masks to be found. There's one guy, Shrimp Zoo, was saying you could get some online, and that there's a K95 one that's Korean or something like that, or maybe that one's from China. But yeah, and I see nothing good. So lost your job 3 months ago. Talked to another Walmart worker today. Talking cry. Yeah, it's getting messed up. I think that, like I said, I think the drivers are going to get it from being in the Walmart. I think that then the Walmart DC will probably get it because the people up front. I've run that freight before, and they usually was running like trucks a day and all, but now they're running out of beef it's because a lot of the plants that make that stuff are closing down, and they're only selling so much, and they're hoarding it, but they're only selling so much to their distributors. So we're already in rations, people. We're already in rations. So, building manager with 29 cases now pending. Try to click on the comments, but anyways, I'm gonna get off this thing though. Like I said, I'm not trying to rant. I'm putting information out there, and this is what's going on. It's a whole new economy. It's the kind where you don't have a job. That sucks, right? So, I will get back into the swing of things, as soon as I can there. Appreciate it there, JD. And yeah, I think well, it's fixing to be a full-on depression. They haven't seen, like I said, it's going to be sustenance living. I've got 300 tomato plants. I'm building a American flag of a garden. It's fun. Tiller runs now. That's good. If I was gonna have to dig it with a shovel, I'll dig it with a pick and a shovel if I have to. Anyways, but like I said, it's going to be economy. Our economy is going to be sustenance living, or soup kitchens. I don't know what they're going to come up with. Who knows? But with this virus, you're not even going to be like I said, give it a month, maybe a month and a half, with them not making cigarettes, and with the places just giving so many cigarettes to different stores. And you can only buy so many cigarettes now. There's going to be a shortage of everything, but people are going to lose their minds like George there when you can't have cigarettes. So I'm going to get off this thing. It comes off a truck, people, and they're messing with the truckers like me. I'm out. Y'all stay safe. Peace.